Stand up. All right, smile. Say hi. Look
hey guys, it's the Payco fam.
Today we're going to be answering some questions that y'all sent me on Instagram for us to answer on our YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's get started. The first question was, how did Brent and I meet? Well, first I want to say I had been following Brent on Instagram since 2013, and I went back and found a comment that I had left on a picture of his on Instagram from 2013 saying, oh my gosh, you're so cute. And so that's that. So basically we met on Instagram. Girl that I had followed on Instagram posted a picture of her in a prom group, and he was in her prom group. And I saw him and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. So I followed him, and at the time he had a girlfriend. I followed him for years, and then how did you end up following me back?
We followed each other on and off. So I went on her Instagram one night, and she had her Snapchat in the bio.
Well, first, before he tells you this part, I realized the night before that he had followed me on Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, he followed me back. Like, I literally was like in love with, like, I didn't even know him yet, and I was in love with him. Like, I just thought he was the cutest thing. I loved his style. I loved everything he posted. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. So when I saw that he followed me on Instagram back, I was like, oh my gosh, I am not reaching out to him. I'm not the type to reach out to guys. So I was like, I'm gonna put my Snapchat bio on my Instagram. So she
did not do that.
I swear on my life.
She says
ask my friend Nicole, my roommate at the time. I literally went into my roommate Nicole's room and I said, hey, I'm gonna put my Instagram name on my bio and see if this hot guy reaches out to me and if he adds me, because I don't want to reach out to him. Maybe an hour later, he added me.
And then from there, the rest is history.
Tell them what happened.
What happened?
Tell them. Did you hear the rain? Rain? Can you blow him a kiss?
So I added her on Snapchat, and I honestly don't know who snapped who first. I don't remember.
But that's how we kind of started talking.
So
I was at Radford.
From the Richmond area to the Morgantown area in West Virginia, where I'm from, it's like 6 hours. So she just so happened to be cleaning out her apartment at Radford, and
Radford's about 2.5, 3 hours to West Virginia.
Right. So it's a little closer than that long drive.
So we were snapping. And
then I randomly FaceTimed her just one night, and I don't know what made me do it, but I just was like, what the heck. So I FaceTimed her. Obviously I was interested, or else I wouldn't have done that.
I freaked out. Thank God I looked cute.
I FaceTimed her, and she was out at some party, and she talks to me for maybe like 15-20 minutes on the balcony in the middle of this party. And I was like, the whole time I was like, come see me. And
I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna just drive that far to meet some guy I don't even know.
So eventually I talked her into it, and she came to see me the first time. So
I was terrified, let me just say that. But I was already at Radford, and it was like, I was like, well, it's closer than where I live, so let me just go. I just literally had nothing else to do that weekend, and
she had nothing else to do, I was her last resort. So,
no, he was not my last resort, but he was asking, so I was like, why not? I'm already halfway there. So I drove there by myself, didn't tell my parents, and ended up in West Virginia.
So I hop out of the car, and I have on my work outfit. So we hop out. I thought she was so pretty, like I just knew, like,
wait,
instantly.
Really?
Yeah, really. I just knew instantly, like, yeah, she's definitely a 10 out of 10. So anyway, we go inside. It wasn't really weird at all. Like, we just started talking like we knew each other for forever. Like,
well, this is kind of how my mindset was. Like, I was like, you know, he's cute, but I live far away. I'm not going to worry about if he likes me or not. Well, when I saw you, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so hot, and I got nervous. I just kind of was like hanging out with him like friends. We like played video games, hung out with your guy friends. You thought I wasn't into you.
So the whole time we really weren't like touchy, like we kind of just both were standoffish. There was no like I'm into you keys anywhere along it, like. So
we were both kind of like feeling like we didn't like each other. Like I thought you weren't into me and you thought I wasn't into you.
Right. So she stayed the night and we slept in the same bed and like we didn't even cuddle, nothing. Like we kind of just went to sleep and I woke up to her packing her bag and stuff and getting ready to leave and I was just like, what the heck, like what is this girl doing? So
no girl's ever done that to you, huh, babe?
Like I'm still like trying to rub my eyes and like wake up and she's like, all right, I'll see you later. And like no kiss goodbye, a little hug, and I was like, oh gosh. Well, when she pulled out of the driveway, I was like, oh gosh, I'm never gonna see her again. I thought I lost her. I was really into her and she pulled off and like she was probably 5-10 minutes down the road and I sent her a text. And what did the text say?
How mad are you that you drove all this way to see me?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that text message.
I think we were a little both too nervous to really talk about it in person, just first time meeting each other. What goes next?
I love you. So after he texted me, we started texting a lot. We both admitted that we actually enjoyed hanging out with each other and that we liked each other. We just didn't show it at the time, and then we started texting every day, FaceTiming every day. We would literally FaceTime every night for like hours. And then he asked me a week later to go to the beach with his parents.
I asked her to go on my family's yearly beach vacation.
Oh my gosh, I was terrified.
Because I knew from the get-go she was the one, and if I could just set the hook.
You're so cute. But the thing was, like, we only had hung out one time, and it was like we didn't even act like we liked each other. And then like he's asking me to go to the beach with his family and meet his parents and his sisters, which is like really intimidating. But I went and it was such a fun time. I immediately clicked with all of his family. I loved his sisters. His mom and dad were like awesome. I just felt like at home with them. And I'll never forget, we were on the beach one day and he was in the water and his dad came up to me and was like, he wants to move out of this house that he's in with his guy friends and move home because he doesn't want to mess up anything with you.
Yeah.
So he moved home with his family so that we could, try and make things work living like 6 hours away.
We could go on and on, but
basically Instagram.
All right, so that's a wrap on that question because that was pretty lengthy.
Yeah. But literally a month after that beach trip, he moved to Virginia and started college here.
Yeah.
Oh, is it stuck? Okay. And that's having a kid for you.
All right, next question.
How we found out I was pregnant with Layton. Well, first let me say, not many people know this, but he was not a surprise.
People probably think we're lying about that, but
yeah, honest to God truth,
we were trying.
Yeah, it was not a surprise. But we basically found out I missed my period, and New Year's Eve, actually, New Year's Day, I just was like, let's take a test. Let's see, and so it was New Year's Day, and I took a test in the bathroom, and you weren't in there, and I yelled up for him to come upstairs. We were living with my parents at the time. Because
at that time, she was taking him pretty religiously because we really wanted to have a kid. She yelled down to me to come upstairs, and I didn't know she was taking the test, so I had no idea what was going on. But she sounded she just sounded different. And so I ran upstairs, and she just handed me the test, and I was looking down, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I looked at her, and she just had a big smile on her face.
Yeah,
and,
we were pretty excited.
We just hugged and kissed, of course.
Yeah, so the next one was just how we picked out Layton's name. We actually had a hard time finding a guy name that we both liked. So yeah, we probably went a good 6 months before my mom was just like, what about Layton? Everyone was like, what about this? What about this? And my mom was like, what about Layton? And I was like, you know, I kind of like that. So it wasn't like a name that we both like loved, but we liked it, and
Yeah.
we thought it was a good fit.
It was the first name that we both kind of were like, yeah, I kind of like that. It's different. We wanted something different, not too different.
Yep.
So that's how we ended up with Layton. Was her mother actually found that name?
Yeah, and it's just like a random name. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not like, he does have his middle name is my maiden name, so it's Layton Garrett Paco. And then the last, we're only doing a couple questions this time just because the ones that we are answering are so lengthy.
If you made it this far, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
The next question is,
How did I know Brent was the one? And I guess vice versa. There's really not much to this one.
We kind of talked about that earlier in the video.
When you know, you know. Like you just, you fit. You agree on everything. You just feel that chemistry between each other.
Yeah, it's just a completely different feeling. God has someone picked out for everyone, and when you find them, you know.
And you don't even question it.
He does something like in your mind, and it just clicks. And it's like, yeah, she's the one. And
now we have this little guy. And I'm so happy.
Now we have this little booger.
Yeah. Can you give Daddy a kiss? I hope this answered some of the mysterious questions that you guys had for us. So if you like this video, comment below. Make sure you subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.